Danone's green vision isn't a recent development. How far back does it go in the company's history?
Danone started to work on those subjects about 40 years ago. And this stressed to the vision of one man, Antoine Riboud. He's the founder of the group. Basically, he was saying the responsibility of the company does not stop at the factory gate. So a company has to go for growth and profit, obviously, but it also has the responsibility of its impact on the society, meaning the life of its employees, but also, obviously, its impact on nature. Today, the philosophy is really the company needs to work on the areas where it has a significant impact. So it means, of course, working on CO2, but it also includes working on water, packaging, sustainable agriculture and biodiversity.
How have you woven environmental responsibility into the heart of Danone's corporate culture?
Danone's mission is to bring health through food to the largest number of people. And the vision here is really that you cannot deliver that mission if you do not take care of nature. Just because we sell food which is just transformation of nature, if you do not have a healthy planet, you cannot have a healthy food that you sell to the people. So it's in the gene of the mission, and it's in the gene of the culture to be able to sell healthy food. We need a healthy nature.
Looking in more depth at your green vision, how important is reliable measurement of carbon emissions?
Well, you know, we treat carbon emissions just like we treat any business project. And in any business project, you need to first measure to understand where you start from and to understand how you progress along the objectives that you have set to yourself. And this is why, for us, the key step has been to develop a measure. We created an internal tool, which we call the Dan print, that allows us to measure from the upstream to the delivery to stores what's the real footprint of our products. Tomorrow, we will be reporting the carbon just like we today report the can or the profit. So we've been working intensively on how you integrate that into the system of the companies. And actually, we've started our first pilot in Spain, and we're pretty confident that within 2 or 3 years, we'll be able to achieve that goal.
You have an ambitious plan to slash your carbon footprint by 30% per kilo by 2012. How is that progressing?
Well, we are on track to achieve that objective. Roughly speaking, we started in 2008, and we are roughly around -17% so far. We will reach about 7% this year on a per kilo basis, so pretty happy to have achieved that. Now, obviously, achieving the 30% means maintaining that rate for the 2 coming years, and the easiest things have been done. So to achieve that, we need to generate breakthrough ideas. So to answer concretely to your question, 2011, the plans are there, and we have breakthrough things to achieve that. For 2012, we're still working on it to make sure we deliver that objective.
So a lot of hard work ahead in the next 2 years.
A lot of hard work ahead, and that requires the mobilization of all. And that's also why we've put the carbon reduction in the bonus of the 1,400 managers and directors and general managers of Danone to make sure that it's really achieved, and that further confirms it's treated as any business project.
So how do you then reduce emissions in a company of your size and worldwide scope?
Well, the first thing I have to say to answer your question is really there's not one single project that allows to do that. It's a full pipeline of many projects all along the chain that allows to achieve that very big reduction. So we work in the plant, for instance, we mainly work on the reduction of energy use. So to give you a perspective, from 2000 to 2009, we reduced the energy by 45%, Well, since we started that project in 2008, we've managed to really significantly increase the rate. In 2010 only, we did minus 11%. 2009 only, we did minus 11%. We also work on the packaging, and there you have a lot of ideas. You can take out non-necessary pack. We also invented, for instance, on the dairy pack, you add air into the plastic, which reduces the density, which significantly reduces the plastic. You also develop recycling. So on our PET bottle, we've organized the whole chain, how you collect the pack, how you transform them. That also requires helping the upstream to be developed. I can also quote in transportation, switching from truck to train is a very significant, has a very significant impact on carbon.
Offsetting the carbon is the final part of your plan. What's the rationale for that?
Well, most of the experts say that reducing carbon won't be enough to maintain the level of CO2 at the range that is needed to protect, to prevent climate change to happen. So we also need to help nature to absorb more carbon than what nature currently does. And so we want to do our share of that work. And we want to do it in a way that is as strategic as possible. So working on projects that are more or less linked to our activity. So I'm going to take one example because it's the first pilot that we've developed is on our Evian brand. Basically, we've decided that Evian brand would be neutral in 2011. So of course we reduce, and that's the prerequisite for carbon offset. We consider that we first need to reduce before starting to say we offset. So Evian must reduce its CO2 by 40%, even more than the overall objective. And then the remaining carbon we can offset by investing in programs that allow to help nature to absorb more. So concretely, last year we invested in, together with a local NGO, Oceanium, in planting trees. We planted 35 million palétuviers. And those trees, while they grow, they absorb carbon. And so, for instance, within 2011, we'll have the equivalent of 150 tons, K-tons, of CO2 to ensure that the whole brand Evian is completely neutral.